Check it for for those who speak that language. I know
Right.
One thing I want to know is, like, you said that it's catching up to us.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wondered how other people, forgive me, older people than myself, you know, even though I'm only 10 years younger than you, it's like back in the day. I remember I loved G.I. Joe. You couldn't find anything of G.I. Joe on the table. You couldn't find shirts. You couldn't find anything outside of your comic shop, or something that you could buy through a special deal. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with everything else. And over time, and it really, much of that crap didn't even come out in the 90s. It was towards maybe 99 and on. You got a couple, once the internet hit, some places took it upon themselves to do certain things, market certain things, license certain things, you know. And now it's like, do you feel that some things out there, you're like, man, stop making that. There's just like, man, that was dead years ago. I mean, you should have had it back in the 70s. Like G.I. Joe pajamas, you should have had it back then, not now. Anything? Is there anything like that? You're just like, man, why didn't we have it as a kid, and now go to heck because it's too late?
I think that, to answer backward going forward, I don't have a problem with any of the new marketing ideas, the G.I. Joe pajamas, or any of that, because to me, it just exposes people to the medium. And I think that's a positive thing.
You don't think it knocks down any value of any sort to any of
the
universe?
There's going to always be a collectible aspect to it, and I think there will always be collectible things for people to pursue as opposed to the mass market. I think that if it's a mass market kind of item, and again, it brings people into the hobby, I think that's a positive thing, because you're always going to have your collectible toys. I'm still looking for some toys as a kid. I just bought 2 Superman posters that I had in my bedroom when I was 4 years old, Superman peace posters, one of him standing there and one of him flying with a peace sign. And I had those in my room as a kid, lost them for years, finally got them back. Cost me $600 for the pair, worth every penny. So you're always going to have that. Do I see things that I go, boy, I wish we had those when I was a kid? Yeah, because think about technology today.
I mean, but how hard is it to make a T-shirt back then? Why didn't we have T-shirts for G.I. Joe all over the place, or badass Spider-Man shirts?
I know. You know, I hear what you're saying, and why didn't we have those things? And we did, but we had them so few and far between. To me, that's also kind of endearing about it. It was important to get that Spider-Man T-shirt because there weren't a lot out of them. Now I see Spider-Man T-shirts, and I can see if someone is a true comic book fan or if they're a civilian just by the kind of shirt they have.
Exactly.
So, but you know what? If it gets the character there and people see it and it exposes the medium again, you know, I'm all for it.
Okay.
I'm all for it.
Next question. How do you feel about the digital downloads of comics? And I don't mean like stealing them by, you know, like I'm talking about like today's market.
Okay. Well, to me, I'm going to quote the late great Will Eisner when he was asked this question in a panel I was attending, and I agree with him about this, but I have an addendum to it. He said, "It's not a comic book unless I can take it in the bathroom and read it." Now, that's genius if there was ever genius. And I agree with that. That said, let's be honest, young people today, all about the cell phone, all about the iPad, the laptop, that's fine. And again, if we can get that to them in a format that we can expose them to the medium, they can pursue the medium, and get them into a comic book shop to buy other forms of it, I think that's a positive thing. I don't think it should be everything, but I think it should be incorporated because it's just the reality of technology in the market. Don't make every comic book downloadable. Make some, but get them into the comic book store to buy the original item. But if it gains us readership, it gains revenue into the business, into the medium, again, I think it's a positive thing. I won't read them online because I didn't come up that way. I'll read them the old-fashioned way. But I think it can be a good thing to get it in the hands of people that normally wouldn't get into. And then if we can do that, maybe we can get them in the comic book store. And I've heard people say, well, they won't come. Well, they won't come if we don't try. If we just say, read your digital comics and that's it, Well, come to the comic book shop. Talk to people about comics, like-minded people. See things that you can't necessarily see online. But I think it can be a very positive thing. I truly do. And part and parcel of what a comic book is.
Now, what about the collection aspect of it? Do you think it'll start making some of our past go up because the print is going to be so out of limited runs compared to what has been in the past? So.
I think that the collectible niche as a whole, there's always going to be that aspect of collectability, and the more people want something, the more they're going to want to go get it. So you have, to me, you have two kinds of people. You got your casual comic book readers, you got your hardcore collectors. And that doesn't mean you can't be a hardcore reader if you're a collector. You're always going to have that group that's going to want that particular book and pursue that particular book.
Right.
Then you're going to have people that are just going to want to read them. And I know people that buy the paper product that don't want to touch their comics to read the downloadable version. So I think there's something.
Works.
Yeah, I think there's something in it for everyone.
Except if they have to buy it twice.
Right, correct. I don't want to see comic book shops go away. At the very least, they're a haven for creativity, like-minded people, and enjoyment of the hobby. And I made the best friends of my life in a comic book store. You know, so that's to me, that's what's really important. Like this experience of Free Comic Book Day, it truly shows what the medium can do by bringing people together. Like going to a con, everybody's your friend.
Yeah.
Everybody's your friend.
But you always got one jerk who doesn't see eye to eye.
Oh, that's, well, the store's going to have every, look,
yeah.
one of those in every store. So.
Okay.